Good evening and welcome to another segment of Certified Unscripted. I mean, I used to have fast hands and could did it like I was, DJing, but it's just not happening in these days. Anyway, welcome. We have had an exciting weekend and just an exciting series of women's basketball. So much is going on, so many thoughts. Some of our predictions came true, some of them didn't. But usually I'm here, since it's our summer segment, but now the summer has ended and September is right here around the corner. We're going to get back to our original host. I know you've been waiting for her, Miss Vera Jones. Welcome back, Vera.
Pull me in.
Welcome back, Vera.
It's been a minute.
Been a minute, girl, but you
I found my little mug, washed off my shirt. I'm ready to go. Ready to go.
All refreshed. How you been?
It's been good. It's been good. It's been refreshing. A lot of traveling, a lot of work, a little bit of play, and a lot of hoops. I'm gonna just say something about them Aces. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there right now.
Girl.
Something about them Aces.
Well, my team pick is gone because I was going with Seattle. I just felt yes, I went with Seattle. Yeah. I think Spoon
Thanks,
was
Erica.
Seattle.
Sorry. Okay.
What's her name? Who didn't go with Seattle? I think Penny. Penny was straight up Aces. She's like, nah, the Aces are just gonna do what they do, So, but I just felt, the sentimental aspect of Sue Bird leaving, her being there for 2 decades, just I
thought it was gonna have a little power behind it as well. It was sad, it was sad to see her go, but I still just think the Aces, they're just stacked and they came ready to play. 110, then 104-point game. I mean, they've got the power, they've got the scoring, they got the side, they got some of everything. They're just getting it done. So it's been exciting to watch. And it's important because I have managed to stay up past my bedtime of 9 o'clock to make sure I can catch that West Coast game. So it's obviously doing a good job.
I think everyone has been talking about that, because the games are 10 o'clock and it's like, look, by 10, I'm usually kind of napping by now, So I was even struggling last night watching it. I fell asleep at one part. I definitely did, but I woke up for the ending, so that's really all that mattered overall,
Yeah.
We're so happy to have you back. Definitely.
Yeah, good to be back.
Everybody's kind of been dripping and drabbing in, with everything going on.
Speaking of which, Ruthie's trying to get in, by the way.
Oh, Ruthie?
She says. Yeah.
I don't see her anywhere up on here, but
she
anyway.
says she's having some link problems, so you might have to go back into producer mode and get her in.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go back and get her in. In the meantime, I'll allow you to do the honors of your co-host for the evening.
I will do that. And make sure I got my little notes here. All right. So first of all, I feel weird because I'm used to running around trying to see all your comments and just trying to play catch up. And we're really unscripted now. It's definitely the summer. In my absence, we have been blessed with a young woman from Toronto. She's a host and reporter of the Toronto Raptors, has her own show called Swish Inside the WNBA. You probably don't see her as a stranger anymore, although this is my first time working with her. It is Savanna Hamilton. Welcome aboard. That is the part, Rita. Yep, punch her up. Hey, Savanna, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much for the introduction. And man, it was some big shoes I had to fill in for you because I've done my research on Vera, guys. She's so talented in so many different directions. I'm just trying to keep up.
Well, I can tell you had all the good stuff while I was gone. Nancy Lieberman last week. Right. I'm pretty sure Nancy was on last week. Who else I missed? I missed Nikki Teasley. I missed Michelle Edwards. And I don't know who else I missed, but I know I missed somebody else. But good shows, good guests. Now we're back in stride, and it's all about the playoffs. It's all about, by next week, we'll be into the finals. I guess you all have been making predictions. Did you cast yours in?
Me personally, I have. So I was with Penny with the Aces. So I'm still riding with Penny on the Aces.
I'm on that bandwagon.
I think Penny and I were also saying Chicago over New York, and we got Chicago so far. I mean, we're gonna see how that series turns out, of course, but we'll see. But yeah, so far Aces, we're good.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I was actually, that was a blowout. I was very, very surprised to see Connecticut come on as strong as they did against Chicago. I was actually like, wow. Like it wasn't that I was counting them out. It's just that I thought Chicago would just kind of handle their business, kind of another run back for the championship or whatever. So I was like, ooh.
I had Chicago and Aces in the finals, and now I'm like, Connecticut could take this. So
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking, and I know that we're going to be, by the way, see, I'm all off kilter because I don't have my low controls. I'm supposed to say thank you, everybody. We always have our loyal fans that are always there. I come back, the same fans are there. And now I'm seeing some new people that have popped up. So if you're joining us on Facebook Live or you're joining us on YouTube Live, we can't say enough about the support that you've been given Certified Unscripted. The show has grown, it has blossomed, and it's everywhere. I run into people that talk about it, some of everywhere. People I don't even expect are talking about Certified Unscripted. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know some of our mainstays have cast. I know Erica has. Erica, I'd love to know who you're pulling for, who you say is going to win this thing. We have a lot of loyal Chicago fans as well. So I know that those loyal Chicago fans are going to be looking at this game, knowing that it's going back, knowing that Candace Parker and the whole crew has got to be annoyed at that last blowout. I think we're going to see a different Chicago game tomorrow night. Your thoughts?
Oh, you can't and we both know this as players. You take the beating of a lifetime, especially in a playoff series, the next game after that, like, you're not rolling over. Like, you're gonna give it right back to them. That's why if I was Connecticut, I'd almost be a little bit scared because I'd be like, I was sure we wanted to beat them by that much. Now it's Brad. Now Candace Parker is gonna come back and drop like 50. Who knows? But I'm just saying, it's gonna be a series, that's for sure. Chicago Sky, you can't sleep with the champions. That's just how it is. We've seen it time and time again where teams come back from a deficit and they ended up, going all the way to the chip. So never, it's not over until it's over, until the final buzzer goes off. That's for sure.
Yeah. Moni Williams is asking if the Aces are the favorites to win the WNBA title, and I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah.
I didn't check the over under, but I want to say they're the favorites but not by a lot. Obviously it depends on who they draw. That to me is the bigger question, because before you can even start talking about the Aces, you got to talk about what you expect tomorrow night. Before we jump into all of that, there's a whole bunch of stuff to play catch up on. So didn't get a chance to give a live shout out to Serena Williams. I'm getting emotional. Emotional. I cried on that. I did. I boohooed. Yeah, I did.
Okay. You win like a billion other people, so there's no shame in that. No shame at all. But go on.
Yeah, definitely just wanted to give Serena a shout out. Wanted to make sure we did that. Also in the news, we have it was big news when Dawn Staley and South Carolina said, nope, not going to BYU. You guys call people nasty names from the stands, and we are not taking our team there after what you did to Duke volleyball. So was very interested to get some thoughts on that, just about Dawn Staley. One of the things I loved about Dawn, who also has been on our show, is she's just real. She's raw. She just keeps it. It is what it is. She stands up for what she believes in. She doesn't allow anybody to pressure or bully her either way. If she particularly feels that her team is in jeopardy or Black women overall are put at a disadvantage, she's one of the first to speak up. So I love that. Coming into the set, haven't seen you in a minute. Ruthie, where you been? How you been?
You too, Miss Lay. I've been good. Hey, just keeping it moving. Hey, but like my dad say, I wanna wear out, not rust out.
Hey.
Tell me something. Did you pick up on the games? Did you catch the games this week?
I didn't. I watched I didn't watch the last two. I had recorded the game, and I like to watch it. And someone texted me last night. So mad to my by the way, here's the score, and I hate that because I like to be in suspense.
Yeah,
that's the thrill of it. So I was like, you might well tell me what happened now. So they were like, well, but I did watch everything up to the last two games I've been watching. So I need y'all to give me some. What was the last two games like? The Aces.
Go ahead, Savanna.
I was gonna say, Vera, where do you want to begin? Well, begin with the I mean, if they texted you the score, I guess this is no longer like fresh information. But the first game, Connecticut and Chicago, blowout, just absolutely blow. Like Connecticut, they handled their business, and they just weren't planning on going home anytime soon. And then of course Aces and Seattle. I'm sure you already heard the news, but Aces came out of that one bittersweet because like I'm pulling for the Aces personally, but it's Seattle, like Sue Bird's last game, and that I got almost emotional. Vera, you said that you were crying during Serena Williams. I had to stop myself from choking up.
I had a little choke up on Sue Bird as well. I mean, she's had such an amazing long run. You can see people in the stands just hugging each other and everything. It's one of those things where it's bittersweet, right? So but yeah, Ruthie, you can still go back and watch game 4 for was it 104-80, I believe it was
come out the Aces.
No, the Chicago Connecticut game.
Yeah.
So tomorrow,
Aces in Seattle.
That one was 97-92. That one was close. That was that was right down the wire, back and forth. So yeah, it was a pretty good game.
Nobody led that game by more than like 5 to 7 points at a time. Like the score was always under 5 for the most part. So so it was good.
What are we getting in the thing here? Let me see. Candace Parker has been playing like she is 20. Oh, Spoon. Ain't see you. Teaspoon. How are you?
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Spoon's in the house. Watch your mouth.
I'm holding on. On.
Now that you're in, I know that you've been watching the games. Your thoughts on Connecticut, Chicago, and that blowout, and how do you think Chicago's going to come back in?
Connecticut, when their backs against the wall, they normally respond well, and their backs were against the wall, and they had to win to get to game 5. You're going to see 2 coaches with incredible strategies. They're going to throw in they're throwing in everything they got. I mean, there's nothing to lose. So it's going to see some exciting basketball, I think, because these playoffs have been incredible, absolutely incredible. But I think there's going to be some incredible changes being made to make sure that they're better offensively, they're better defensively. So it's going to be 2 coaches really battling it out, but then you're going to have players who are going to try to go and get it done. With Connecticut being as good as they are, being able to switch all positions, that makes it difficult for Chicago to be able to run their offense in a comfortable area. So there's going to be some adjustments made there with what they run offensively to get everybody involved. And then Connecticut's going to do what they do. They feel like they found a weakness, and they're just going to go for it. They're going to go for what they know. But I also thought Chicago did something I thought was pretty interesting. Down the stretch, being down so many, down 27, and you throw your girls back in with like 7-8 minutes to go. I thought they were trying to find a little bit of momentum, find a little bit of positivity out of it all to carry that into home.
You know who impressed me, that if I was going to give just for the game or just for the series so far, don't say her name a lot. Emma Meesman. She's like my I call her my large smoothie, right? Like she's a big girl that's just smooth, and she shows up when you least expect it. Like every time Chicago needed something big, there she was, right? So really, really, I don't know, I'm impressed with her. Tay Anderson, I saw your comment. Tay says, congratulations. Shoot, I just lost it. What I was about to say. Tay, what'd you say? There it is, to A'ja Wilson on winning MVP. Isn't this her second in the last 3 years? Yes, it is. So congratulations definitely to Tay. Congratulations to A'ja Wilson. I thought she's been to me, there was an argument. Obviously, there's always, is it going to be, Bree Stewart? Is it going to be, who's it going to be? I thought, even though Stewie had 42 points and that last game one was extremely impressive, I think it would be hard to argue A'ja Wilson didn't pull it out all season long. And just, wow, just an amazing player. Very impressive. Any thoughts on her making MVP for the second time?
Impressive. She was impressive. I think when you look back at what she did in that series and you look at the minutes that she played, you can tell that she was going to do whatever was necessary for her team to win. She wasn't coming off that floor. She was not coming off that floor because she wanted to freaking win. She wanted to win. And I thought that when this series was done, that is when they were going to make their decision on who would be the MVP. Whoever won that series, I thought that's when they were going to make their decision. But she's truly deserving from the beginning of the season to the end.
Yep. She screams consistency. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And you know what you're getting on a night-to-night basis. And to get that, especially from a forward, right? Like, I think we just in basketball in general can expect something like that out of a guard, but as a forward, like, games change, double teams, triple teams, how to pass out of that, get your teammates open, be a floor general on the defensive side. Like, let's be honest, the unsung hero is always on defense. And like being a center, being a forward that she is, she's running the ship on like a zone defense, it being the center of it, calling out certain actions and plays and movements. And you have to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, her offensive stats are like averaging like 21 points per game, but then to have that same energy on the defensive side as well is nothing short of remarkable, and her team would not be in the position that they are in right now without her. And even though last night I would say, Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, like they may be a bit more of the stars of the show last night in particular, but A'ja still had some amazing plays when the time came, and I mean that's an MVP to me.
Yeah, A'ja had 23 points, 13 rebounds. I mean, she's so consistent that even when she's not the leading scorer for the night, we're going. You know what I mean? She had 13 rebounds. She didn't have Chelsea Gray's 31, but you know what I mean? She's flat out consistent. I think you're absolutely right.
Right, but there's so many things that she does that I think sometimes it's overlooked. I'm like straight kudos to Chelsea Gray. I mean, from the moment I saw her playing in Connecticut, I said, this kid is special. This kid is really special. I mean, she is just unfreaking believable. She is clutch down the stretch. She is clutch. She's the one who keeps them going. But when you look at the little things that A'ja does that most people just kind of overlook, especially when Plum is going off, when Chelsea is going off, still look at how hard she runs the floor. Still look at how she gets to the block and she's posting really hard to demand that attention. She'll demand a double team and then she's willing to pass it out to get everybody involved. It's some little things that she does that also allows other people to get off, setting screens, rolling hard. Those things are valuable pieces to allow the other guards to be able to get off the way that they do.
Yeah, and how many bigs that we see, they rebound hard, they set the screen hard, they're wide open, their teammate doesn't get them the ball, and then they get disheartened, and then they start walking back on defense. And then, but you're right, it's like nonstop. It's like, that's okay, I'll get the next one. Oh, I get my own next time. Yeah, it's consistent that way. Yeah,
she's one who recognizes that she can't get it done alone. So if everybody else is doing their job, it makes her job easier. So for her to be the way that she is when they are scoring, that says a lot about who she is and what winning really means to her. She knows that everybody must be involved in order for them to win a championship.
Things have really, really changed. When I left, she was just penny. I come back, she's PT from DC. I gotta come back and babysit the crew. What's going on? You done changed your name. What's up, Penny Toler is back, ladies and gentlemen. The GM is in the house.
PT from DC.
I like it. Right? What they call it now, the DMV. When I left, I'm like, it was just DC. Now
it was just Penny. Now it's all of that.
Well, we got
you getting hyped because of the playoffs.
So PT from DC. Okay. Oh my God! Besides it being 110 degrees out here in Los Angeles, you guys got rain, and we have a heat stroke here. I'm assuming when I hopped on here, you guys were talking about Chelsea and A'ja and all them things. That's why Chelsea got the name point guard. A guy named Matt gave her that name with the spark. You know, Chelsea just killing it. I actually hit her. I just sent this to her, hands clapping. It was a great game. And like I said a long time ago, is even this game that's coming up with Connecticut and Chicago is going to be interesting because I say it all starts with a good point guard. You have to have a good point guard. And, you know, Chelsea knows where to get the ball, who to get the ball to. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm highly impressed with Asia because I'm going to tell you something, like I said last week, they're throwing 3 different people at Asia and she giving all 3 of them the business. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, Kia Stokes, bless her heart, she played defense and she adds to her because she doing a good job too. But Asia, I think they'll figure it out. Like, can't nobody stop me. And, you know, I know you guys probably don't talk about this, but I was telling Rita, we had a conversation, just like going in Chicago. If Jacqueline Jones don't play like an MVP, they're not going to get that win either. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't sit back and wait and allow everybody else to do it. Somebody got the lead. And with, you know, obviously Courtney had a good game. They all had a good game. But now in Chicago, what I like to call the McCoys, and what I mean by the McCoy, the real deal is step up and play. Or it's going to be lights out for Connecticut too. But, I mean, I am highly impressed with Brittney because ain't no way I thought they would go in there and get both of them. Now, I picked them to win this thing, but I never thought they'd go in there and take both of them.
We're getting some feedback from somewhere. I don't know if you're picking that up, Rita, in the back. And I am seeing all of the questions about the questions. I'm not running the questions today. I don't have control of that today, but we do see your questions, at least some of those questions coming up in the comments. So by all means, please keep them coming. Not really sure where the audio feedback is coming from. Mike Hoop says, what's y'all thoughts on Candace Parker playing her, nasty word, off in these playoffs outside the last game? Man, that's one of our GOATs, and she is like second in playoff scoring, first in rebounding. Talk about her. First on first.
I'm not surprised. You know, that's, you know, when Candace comes to play, like I used to have a little joke with Candace. And, you know, I think Candace is playing great basketball these last couple of years because she's living her truth. Let's start there. Second, I think she's playing, you know, great basketball. I used to always tease and be like, CP, which one I'm going to see? CP2 or CP3? Because right now I need CP3, not CP2. You know what I'm saying? And Candace is being CP3. I'm not surprised. You know, if Candace, you know, and I don't want to say this as a knock, but when Candace shows up to play, she's probably the best in the business. You know, she's the best in the business.
Yeah, her intensity, and I think we talked about this a lot, especially last season. I expect to see, that's what I'm looking for tomorrow night when she comes back in, because it's not just, you know, I think on the season, she might be averaging 13, 14 points on this. It's not just her point production. Of course, she's an awesome rebounder and she brings so much. The difference maker for me and why they won the championship is because of that leadership, the intensity. She pulls players aside. She gets them out of their heads. I saw her doing that with Copper a couple of times. That's what she has to bring on top of, her A game coming back. Someone made a comment about Jonquel Jones, and while we had a chance, I wanted to ask you about that. And this was another good one too about Copper. But real quick, Jonquel, the question was about Jonquel's intensity. Do you not see her, or do you see her comparable to Asia, comparable to Candace?
Absolutely not at this point. You know, it's the same I used to say to Candace when Candace didn't play hard. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Jacqueline is not playing hard. It's what I said about Jewel Lloyd. If Jewel Lloyd didn't show up, Seattle ain't winning either. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, you need that production. When Connecticut lost Chicago the first game, when they were going back and forth, if you watch the game, this is where you need your star to take over. You don't be MVP the year before and be invisible. You don't have that luxury. And if you think you don't get a pass, you know what I'm saying? You know that Spoon, you know that Ruthie, you know that Savanna. You don't get a pass. When the game's on the line, you got to show up. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm saying, like, in certain spots, Chelsea shows up. In certain spots, Asia shows up. Even though they didn't win, Brianna say, hey, when they say Seattle, Brianna Stewart was saying here, you know what I'm saying? Here, like, they showing up with their game and they balling out. where Jacqueline Jones, and some people may get mad. Sometimes this year she fades into the background and she allows Alyssa Thomas to take the lead, and other people to take the lead. The reality of it is, though, they don't have her skill set. And with that skill set, you got the lead. And once you get MVP on your back, you got to come and lead, boo.
Yeah.
You don't have that luxury. You got to show up. And if she don't show up tomorrow, it's lights out and quickly. Believe me when I tell you that. It's going to be quick.
You said something really important. You said that she has to lead. Even if it's not coming from her scoring, it has to be areas. Rebound the hell out of the ball. Get people involved. She can do that. She's a big that can put the ball on the floor and make things happen. But if she does allow others to lead, it has to come from her. If that makes sense. Like, I'm giving it off to you, easy bucket. Now you lead, you're scoring, you're doing your thing, but yet I'm still involved. There's no way, like you said, MVP connected to you. Impossible that you can't show up. Impossible. I just don't see the moments of aggression, or sometimes there's moments of settling. I know I can knock down this shot, but how about putting a little bit of pressure, applying the pressure on the defense, get into that, posting up and not allowing them to get in front of you. You got to want that position. You got to demand that position, demand the ball, and then make something happen. She has to get that mindset, and they have to feed her and allow her to go to work. But at the same time, don't force it. Don't force the action. Then I can find, if I start to draw 2 or 3 people the way that Asia does, Asia a little bit different. She'll go through those 2 or 3 people, and then she'll find everybody else. She knows how to inject herself and also how to keep everybody else involved.
Ashley had asked the question, Penny and Spoon, is it just me, or is Copper not playing as good as she did last year? What do y'all think? Kalia Copper?
Well, it's a different team. You got to realize that. It's a different team, and people are preparing for her a lot more. It ain't like she's sneaking up on them anymore, you know what I'm saying? Or people like, she play that good all the time. Yes, she can. She showed you last year when she won MVP. So, they're preparing for it, and then people got to realize it's a different team, because now you got Messerman in the mix. You know what I'm saying? You got to find that happy-go medium, and sometimes that's why I tell people it's harder when you got a lot of players around you. I look for her to show up tomorrow night and have a good game. She got to have a good game in order for them to win. Is she having the best playoff this year? Probably not like last year, but nobody stays at that level. But I do think she's playing well, though. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Chicago's got a team that every night it could be somebody different, and that's what it's meant.
You said something really important too, just that she was able to sneak in last year, so to speak, right? Like, I mean, people knew who she was, but they didn't know that she could do all of that. So she had a very impressive run. And I think a lot has to be said, especially, we've touched on this before, with the level of competition that exists in the WNBA. There is no sneak. Once the secret's out that you've got game, you've got to bring it over and over and over again. My question is, how much pressure is that? Like, do coaches, do they prepare? Who's into the heads of these players, or are you just on your own? Like, hey, you got to bring it all the time. Because I saw Candace Parker talking to, putting her arm around her and trying to get her out of her head. How much pressure is it when you are an MVP or when you are a big name to just bring that day in and day out? Spoon, you've been there.
That you cannot say to yourself, this is pressure. This is basketball. This is what I do. There's going to be adjustments. That. What adjustment are you going to make with the adjustment? That's the most important thing, is you have to be able to adapt. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to make adjustments, even in game situations. You might make those adjustments in practice, but what are you going to do with those adjustments when you see what type of defense they're playing against you? What type of offense are you going to run to be able to get Copper loose and allow her to get her game going? But the one thing that she does have in her favor is she has a hell of a point guard who knows how to get her involved. I believe it's going to be one thing, a huge focus, a huge emphasis is to get her involved early, because that energy she brings, the level of play that she does for them on the offensive end by getting to the rim as well. When she gets to the rim and she's scoring, that's another level of basketball for them. So I believe they're going to make a conscious effort of getting her involved early. Getting her involved early, it's going to be great for them.
And if I'm Connecticut, and what Connecticut is going to do and what Chicago is seeing different, that they got Miss Courtney Williams back in the mix, and you got to guard her. You know what I'm saying? Like athletics for athleticism this year, and I think that's a problem because last year when they played Connecticut, they ain't had nobody to go at them like Harper was going at them, and that's a different mindset that Courtney Williams being back with Chicago that's bringing in Bonner playing real good basketball. And I'm sure Candace was telling her, dude, forget about your points, come and do other things because that's going to help them win too. She not only got one point guard, she got two because Candace is the best passer in the game, as far as I'm concerned, when she's on. Better than all the guards, And Candace will find you. But that's where that younger generation got to realize, like you, Spoon, you're Spoon not because you scored 30 points. You're Teresa Weatherspoon. You weren't Tisha Pinachero, like all these other great point guards. You guys were winning games without scoring a bucket. And then speaking to far as when you got a 5-game series and everybody knew what you're going to do, now it's coming down to pride. And Houston showed you that. We all knew what the hell Houston was going to do, but they still kicked your butt for four titles, in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm saying?
The thing, Penny, is when I looked at film, I'm really breaking down of what did I not do to get them involved. That's the thing for a point guard of how do I get her involved with the defense that they're playing. The thing that did so well, I thought, to get Courtney Williams going is they had her moving. When there was a double team, he's cutting, boom, and they're finding easy layups. Anytime you get an easy layup, that's a good feeling. Now you feel like my jumper's going to fall. Now you feel like I can get you off the bounce the way that she does, and that's going to fall. She had a level of confidence that was really big because of the movement that they had her doing when the double team came. So that's breaking down film and finding a way, those little bitty things to get everybody involved. As a point guard, you better break it down. You better critique yourself to say, how do I get everybody involved early? I get them involved early, then I know how to inject myself. Those are the most important things when you're watching, because hell, they're gonna come at you defensively the same. The offense is gonna be the same. It's about who's gonna be about those defensive stops. Who's not gonna turn the ball over? Who's gonna really value every possession and go score the ball? Who's gonna do those things down the stretch? It's the most important thing.
And that's IE Chelsea Gray. And like I told you guys before, and I'm not being biased because obviously I had the luxury to see her play.
No.
I was like, I'm not surprised, what Chelsea's doing. I used to tell Chelsea, even though we had Neckers and Candace on the team, she had a little secret, you guys. I said, Chelsea, I'm gonna tell you.
Penny, do you got on a mic? I don't mean to cut you
off. I
don't know where that feedback is coming from. It's driving me nuts.
I know is it Spoon? Because I know last time it was you, Spoon, but
Penny, stop! I just put my mic off now. I'm mute.
No. I'm in my office that everybody said looked like a jail. Unlike the people on the East Coast, I'm still at work, and that's why I was late. I had an inspector over there. Hey, I gotta get this done. I ran back over here. But like I said before, I used to tell Chelsea, as good as Candace is, and as good as Neka is, if you're not leading this team, we ain't gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
And Chelsea would probably kill me for saying this on the show. And that was difficult for her because those are two strong leaders. But I used to be like, Chelsea, I need you to lead. And now that she's on Vegas playing with Asia, because you see she'll pass, get everybody involved. But then when it's a big moment, Chelsea's like, hey, literally her last 3 shots were big ones. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And looking at her, and I'm gonna tell you, I felt proud watching her because I used to be like, man, it took her a minute, but she figured it out finally. Because the guards are the head of the horse. I don't care how good your posts are.
Right.
The guards are the head of the horse, and that's what I said a couple of weeks ago for the playoff start with Spoon and Savanna. You heard me. If you ain't got a good point guard, you ain't going far. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Odyssey Sims and Heidemann, and I think they're doing a decent job, but they're not Jasmine Thomas. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm Connecticut, I'm coming to jump on you early because if they don't, Connecticut could walk off with this thing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Good question from Pooh. You know her. Can Chelsea Gray, are we seeing the best of Chelsea Gray, or is this something that she can consistently do?
Absolutely.
Do you think that the scoring that we've seen is just, if she puts her mind to it, she out and outright can do this day in and day out?
That's what she does. Yeah, I don't know if you read this, but Becky said that if she calls a play And Chelsea called. Do what Chelsea said.
Wow.
That much trust? That's a lot of trust.
That's a lot.
She said, matter of fact, they said it's 2 coaches on the floor. Becky was in that ad on the spoon. She said, I'm Chelsea's assistant coach. Chelsea got a high basketball IQ. You know, there's times, and I know she done figured it out now, where I would always think with the Sparks, she was being like a little too unselfish. But obviously, I would remember this. If you go see when we won in 2016, Chelsea came off the bench, and I know other people out there wouldn't know this. I would, because I'm the GM. Chelsea came off the bench, and before Neca hit that game-winning shot, Chelsea had scored the last, I believe, 9 or 11 points for the Sparks. And she did that coming off the bench because remember we had Chrissy Tolliver in the mix. Mm-hmm. And down the stretch, it was all Chelsea scoring all those points. Yep.
This has been this playoff already. This season already has absolutely been top notch. I saw something where the WNBA. This has been the most watched season in over a decade, in 14 years. Everything is up. Their fan engagement, their merchandise, social media, digital, everything about the WNBA is up. ABC, CBS, ESPN, and ESPN2 up 16% just last year in terms of viewership. Would you say, because we always have this little argument or debate, given what we've seen this season, and we go back old school again to whatever season you would have considered the greatest season, old school, let's say first 10 years of the league, have we gotten that much better? Or are you still on the whole thought of, you can't compare old school with the new school?
I'm with you, can't compare, because I done been a part of some of the greatest playoff series, us dethroned in Houston, LA, and the Minnesota rivalry. I mean, look at Minnesota team, highly decorated. They're all going to be Hall of Fame. Lindsey Whalen, Maya Moore, what's the name? Spoon, the forward, Rebecca Brunson, who got more titles than anybody. That people, you know, she's the I forget the guy that used to play for the Lakers. His name. He went to San Antonio and got more titles than everybody in the league. Look at that whole team. Sylvia Fowles, you know. So I mean, just decorated to the high heavens. You know what I'm saying? I think, as opposed to comparing them, enjoy it. That's why I hate when people start comparing. It doesn't matter. The thing of it is, it's here. It's great for TV. Everybody's enjoying it because you can go back in time and play against a different team.
Sure.
You know, because if you ask me and Spoon, we're gonna say the past. You know what I'm saying? Because put those players in their prime and they get their asses kicked straight up. You know what I'm saying? Right, Spoon? Right, Spoon?
With you. I'm
you
with
know,
you.
I'm being realistic because it's a tougher game. You know, it's what I say about Steph Curry. I love Steph Curry. He's one of the best in the business. And people gonna get mad when I say that, but could he play during the hand checking years when they could stiff on you and you couldn't move around?
Yeah.
You know,
well,
when you go to the hole, they're gonna knock your butt off. You know, remember they just went to that. You got to get your hands off when you get in the key. There's different things and different rules. But for me, I enjoy it. And you got to realize that a lot of these players, their games are what they are because of what they saw in the past. You know what I'm saying? So they're basically what we're seeing is a homage that them improving an evolution of what the past players were doing. Yeah. But you can't compare because you got small, even New York, even though New York never won, look at not knocking them, but look at the rivalry with New York when you played LA or New York when you played Houston. Yeah. To get Houston off that pedestal. Or when Sacramento was going to LA, you know what I'm saying? To get us off that pedestal.
Yeah.
You know?
Savannah, you're the young one. You're the young one in the group. I'm putting you on the spot. Give us a different perspective. What are you thinking?
No. Actually, I'm pretty much over here being like, yeah, you're right. Because, like, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be very close to the game my entire life. As like when my aunt was a professional basketball player, my twin sister currently is a professional basketball player. So, like, me looking at like what my aunt went through and everything too, growing up, like the stories that I've been hearing is like, yeah, you know, you break your tooth, you get back in the game, you broke your finger, you get back in the game, like, oh, your neck's broken, that's nice, fix it after the game. And so like it's just like a whole different generation of toughness that like now it would not even compare. And like even to what your exact point was, PT from DC was Sue Bird last night. We saw it last night. She was complaining to the ref saying that like Plum keeps on like checking me from behind. She keeps on checking me from behind. And I was kind of being like, but Bird, weren't you in those decades where that was okay like that? Like, I'm surprised you're even complaining about that.
They don't know anything about Teaspoon and Debbie Black era.
That's a name from the past. Debbie Black was she was like a mosquito.
Wait.
You know what I'm saying?
Spoon, you're muted. Spoon, you're muted.
Rita muting me from somewhere every time you turn around. Mute.
What were you saying?
Muted you. The host has unmuted you. Rita.
She's like, Rita, stop. She muted you again.
I'm going. Hey, Rita's got the controls. Everybody, Rita's got all of our listeners and fans. I have no control. It's all on our executive.
I do have one question for the group. I have a question for the group. You know, I thought about this early this morning. It was the weirdest thought too. It's going to be weird watching the WNBA without Sylvia and Bird. You know?
Yeah.
Because Bird has been around a long time, been a true, ambassador for the league. And, even when that game was over, obviously I was happy for Vegas. And just a part of me was like really sad because I was like, wow, just the ending of a great career. Like, for instance, it's funny too how life goes. Now I can sit there and watch the Sparks all day. But you know what? I cannot watch Serena Williams play tennis, okay? Yeah. Because if she ain't winning, I ain't watching none of the last matches because it kills me because I want her to win so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That I don't watch it because if she lose, I don't want to watch it. I had to find out she lost, but it just came, you know how it comes up on the Twitter and things? Because I haven't watched it for the last couple of years because I just don't want her to lose. And
it was so good, though. It was.
I know. I just can't watch it.
But it was so good. Even the way she lost had power, and it was phenomenal.
That's what they say, but I didn't watch it because I wanted her to win. I wanted her to have all the records. And remember the last couple of years, she would get to the finals, and I would just be like, "Please, God, maybe get a sports psychologist or something," because she got to a lot of finals at the end and didn't have her best games. That's one great player. I know it's not even basketball. I was like, I cannot watch her play because I wanted her to win so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Great player transition. This Sue Bird, best point guard. We've gone over this over and over again. Spoon, did you play against Sue Bird at the end of your career? Could you stay with her? Laugh out loud.
That's a laugh out loud. I'm laugh with you.
I'm entertaining that one. You want my juice to come out? Come on now.
Hey, it's unscripted.
Get your juice out, Spoon. Get your juice out. Get a spoon. Get
your juice on.
Get my fire burning. Come on. Yeah, I played against her, of course. Ask her.
Yeah.
Ask her.
Okay. For the public out there, when Spoon shakes her head like that, since I've known her forever, that means don't be asking me them crazy questions. You know who's that point guard in the house. I'm gonna interpret that for y'all. Spoon like.
I got who Sue is. Sue has done this for a very long time. Very long time. I knew Sue when she was at Christ the King. I met her then. Sue was very young and a part of the book that I had written, the first book I've ever written. Sue was a part of it. I got to know that at a very young age. I got to play with her when she came into the league. Got to play against her. It was great to play against her because, the height was huge. I want to play against that. I like that. I love that. So you want to bring the height down. So when we got a chance to play her, we always after her because the hype was on. The hype was on. But it's not even about that. I know what the hell I'm going to do. And everybody else will.
But you know what was good about Sue? That a lot of these young players don't do?
That is what it is. Look what the kid has done. It's about what she's done in this league. This kid is unreal. She's unreal.
One team. She was the franchise. Like one team, her whole WNBA career. Like, for that many years.
That'd be Taurasi. Wow. That was Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
That was Tamika Catchings. You know what I'm saying? That you can look. That was Teresa Weatherspoon.
That was Candace Parker.
I guess the point I'm making is
but that's just because of the time she came in there. I mean, but if we didn't have to go overseas, that Spoon and myself would have been there probably that long. You know what I'm saying? But the league didn't come along then. You know what I'm saying? That's why there were shorter careers. You know, that's why when Cynthia Cooper came over here killing everybody, we weren't surprised because we saw Cynthia killing everybody. You know, long before the WNBA came into existence. Like people now say, "Oh, Lisa Leslie started this or such and such." We just had Nancy Lieberman on. People don't know Janice Lawrence was one of the best posts I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
and still a lot of people are unfamiliar with Katrina McCray. And I'm saying, her bank shot. I would have think Scottie Pippen stole his bank shot from Janice Lawrence. How good she was. You know what I'm saying? Like we had seen it before. Lisa Ingram. Yeah, you know Grandmama, but how many people know Lisa Ingram?
Yes.
How many people know Shauna Perry? You know what I'm saying? How many people know those people? You know what I'm saying? We can run them off because we know them.
Yep. Yeah, when I hear about those viewership numbers and like the increase and stuff like that, for me in my head, I'm like, it has nothing to do with the talent level or the competitiveness of the WNBA. For me, I'm like, it has everything to do with the fact that they're just starting now to put women on TV. They're just starting now to promote, to add more sponsorships to the game, to have more storytelling and narratives that drive viewership to watch the game in the first place. Because you can't tell me that the competition's gotten so much better. I'm like, I don't think so. I think it's stayed, the same, or even like, the rules changed, obviously. So you could argue that back in the day, it could have been better or was better. When you guys said the first 10 years of the WNBA, I was going back in my head. I'm like, I was still learning my ABCs, guys. So give me some grace. Just give me a little grace there.
But Savanna, too, the reason they are on TV and the reason they're getting them deals is because of all the past players. I say that because it takes a village to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like these players just arrive. And this is the thing that a lot of veteran players get on here and say that you have to pay homage to now, because it took collectively for every player that ever played in the league, whether they played 1 minute, 2 minutes, no minutes, 30 minutes, to get to where we're at right now. And because they did well,
Like, for example, I couldn't believe, obviously, for those who know, I'm located in Canada, and I could not believe that in Canada, where we have Canadian players in the WNBA, we have a whole national team that does decently well. They've gone to the Olympics multiple times, that we don't have any women's basketball content up here. And so that's why, I really felt it, to take it on myself. Nah, if we're going to have a show, we have to have a show. And that's just as simple as amplifying, the sport itself, because it didn't sit right. That's why when I hear about those numbers and stats and yay, viewership's up, but is viewership up, or did they just get more exposure? That's all my question is, because even in the States, and correct me if I'm wrong, were you guys always on the main networks, or even having any at least mainstream exposure back when you guys were playing, or was it even harder to find? You could be on TV, but was it on I don't know if you have ESPN 7 or something?
Yeah, no, we didn't have 7 of them, but we definitely still had ESPN. And back, I was broadcasting
prime time.
Second year. From the second year.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Vera. You go ahead.
No, I was just saying we did have ESPN. We did have ESPN2. What we didn't have was social media. Right. So that exposure is and even for a minute, I think Lifetime jumped on, and took us for a season, took the league for a season. And then each of the individual, which was really, really strong, was each of the, I was a New York Liberty broadcaster as well as with ESPN. So a lot of us were tag teaming, we were doing our home, depending on how the schedule worked out. Almost every team had their own, at least radio, and most of them had their own television in their cities as well. Okay. So the exposure was kind of there. It's just, I think social media and the digital platform has taken it. You're right. I think that's a good point, Savanna. It's definitely taken it. But the point is, regardless of how it did, it has jumped. That's a huge jump at 16%. That's just in a year. So if it can continue, hopefully some good things will pan out for the WNBA, and hopefully this show will even get some love somewhere, right, on a platform out there as we continue to bridge the gap. I got a trivia question I want to throw out before we finish. Who is the highest paid WNBA player? See if y'all did your homework. See what y'all pop in the chat. Right now.
Are you
Not
talking
ever
to me, or are
all
you
time,
talking to
but right
people in the
now.
chat?
Just signed the biggest contract.
You talking about the people in the chat, right?
Yeah, you can pop them in the chat. I'm gonna see if anybody else. But I thought I was actually surprised, and I was surprised. Like if you compare, obviously we shouldn't do the NBA comparison to the W. We all know we're not supposed to do that, but still, it's 200 times higher. Not 10 times higher, not 20 times higher, 200 times higher. It's Jewel Lloyd. She signed a 2-year contract for $463,030 over 2 years, which comes up to $231,500 on average for the year. I just threw that out there because it was one of those things that still made my chin drop.
About that? Because I know Stewie, did she just sign an extension? Because I know Stewie was
in
one
July.
of the highest paid. Stewie is, because you got 3 that are tied right there at the maximum.
I believe Stewie's average is at 195,000.
That's why I was like, who did she just sign a contract?
She just signed in July, at the end of July. So I just happened to see it and I was like, wow. And I think my point is just when we start talking about the viewership is picking up and all of these things are picking up, the merchandise is picking up and all of that is picking up. It's still, for me, it's just like, wow. I mean, I guess we shouldn't complain. You guys want to give some leverage here in terms of where did it begin in the WNBA in terms of salaries?
And you got it. I don't even talk about it.
You and people gonna get mad out there at me when I say this, but I'm about to, y'all know I'm gonna give it to you straight, right?
Give it to us straight.
Bringing it to you straight today. Okay. All right.
Come on, PT.
First of all, if you look at the WNBA, you can't compare it to the NBA. You can't compare it to football because those teams have been around a long time. Because there is apples and oranges. Because if you look at the NBA and they're 26, 27 season, they weren't making this money we're making. But how many people do you know that are making $250,000, $280,000? And remember, the league, the teams pay for houses, we pay for cars, we give you per diem, and you make all that money in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, how do you calculate that the WNBA has given careers, i.e. Becky Hammond, i.e. Dawn Staley, i.e. Shanae Ogwumike, just to name a few, i.e. Spoon? Do you really think that a lot of us females would have these jobs now if the WNBA was never in existence? So what is the value for right now how do you calculate that? Well, because of that presence and that spotlight on the WNBA and the growth of the WNBA, Adorn can play in the WNBA and go coach at Temple and now become one of the highest paid coaches. Spoon can be down at the Pelicans. Shanae Ogwumike, you can see her on TV. Now you got people begging for people like Savanna here. Hey, I need a woman. I need a woman to go on here now. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't thought of in our time. Now you need. Hey, where's the woman? I gotta get one. You know, I'm just being realistic. But if it wasn't because of the evolution of sport, it would not happen. So the WNBA is growing, but I'm gonna be fair. I've been on both sides. I've been a player and I've been a GM. Until you can fill the stadium. And one day I read this on Twitter, and I know who this guy was. I think I took a picture of it, but I ain't gonna go on my phone and get it. And somebody was talking about, the league sucks because they won't pay the girls all this money. And this particular person said what I was thinking. Half the people that are complaining about the women don't get paid money has never set foot in the WNBA gym. So until you get your butt in the gym and support us, and not just with your lip service, then don't say anything. And I would even say that to the women. You got more men in the gym than women. That women outnumber men 4 or 5 to 1. Even if they just go to the arena, be full up. But there are a lot of people that's always saying the league sucks. But tell me, what is the value that the WNBA has given careers, lifelong, that last after basketball, including myself, going from a player to being a GM for 20 more years in the league?
Yeah.
What is that value? Tell me what's that money amount?
No. But you're right, Penny. You're right. I have nothing but great things to say about the WNBA. Nothing but great things. Because when it came into existence, we were extremely happy to sprint our butts back over and play in America. This was an opportunity, not just to play the game of basketball, to also venture out into other things that you want to do with your life. So the exposure, the platform that you were given, that's huge. You have to take that into account, like Penny is saying, you have to. So I have nothing but great things to say about the WNBA, the opportunity it is given to all of us. Mm-hmm. Taking advantage of the opportunity while your name is hot or while you're in the league. Make it hot and go get what you got to get while the exposure is there. Nothing but great things to say about the league. I'm thankful.
I still think I can be 50% of the league, and we were only paid the max player was $50,000.
Yeah, that's where I was trying to go. It's just the growth of where it was.
We played for $50,000.
That's where I was trying to go.
All the appearances for free, and I still think I can beat half the league.
Hey, yo,
at 56. Because Spoon, don't you think? No, I'm gonna be one half. You can be the other half.
Vera, do you mind if I jump in here real quick? Because I have a tag along question to your question, and kind of to both the points that you guys have both made. And you're so right. I always say you use basketball, don't let basketball use you. And the WNBA has absolutely given both of you women like the opportunities that you guys are in today. It's given me the opportunity to even do what I'm doing, and that's just like a side effect of having a WNBA, right? And like, so I think about that all the time. But what gets me is the fact that, you know, as grateful as we are, I also kind of check ourselves in the same time, because like this is a more broader like statement about society. But if we were men who didn't even have playing experience, we still would have had these opportunities. So it's a twofold thing. I feel like too. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm grateful to be here now, but like, and it probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. But it shouldn't necessarily take the fact that you two in particular had an amazing career. Like that is obviously you should be in where you guys are. That's a given. But the fact that we could have men who don't have the same pedigree, not even close to the same pedigree that you guys have had, never even playing basketball, like that's what rubs me like, aren't you guys still a little bothered by that though? Like,
I'm not bothered by it, but I was happy to say one time I did tell my PR person, they were like, Penny, do you want to pub anything? You said, no, it's not about me, it's about the team. But at one point in LA, I was the only GM with a title. Once Rich Kupchak left Chap, when Rob Pelinka said in his sheet, the Dodgers didn't have a title, the Clippers still don't got a title. I was the only GM in LA with not one title, but with 3 of them. And probably made a quarter of what they made in their pocket. But you know what, though? But here's what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that the league is here. I'm grateful I got an opportunity to play in. I'm grateful to have my imprint on it. I'm grateful to have 3 championships. I'm grateful to be among some of the most amazing people in the world that I've met. And one of them right across the hall from me, Johnny Buss, who I'm grateful that him and his dad decided to have the Sparks and put so much into it. You know what I'm saying? The anchor of the West Coast. And I'm grateful that that's why I say every player, whether you played a minute or not, this is why sometimes you do things you know you don't eat, but the next generation eat. And that's what I hope this generation understands, that everything that they're doing now, they're going to benefit a little bit, but the one behind is going to benefit. The Paige Buckners are going to benefit even more. You know what I'm saying? And that's nature taking its course. So it's one of those things where it's a long time coming. I'd rather spend my energy on figuring out how we're going to continue this ride and get it better and get more money versus what I don't have. Because like I said, you can't put a value. None of us will be here without the WNBA. None of us. We can throw the gauntlet down on that one.
On the financial tip and on the social tip, got one more challenging question. So we all know the Brittney Griner saga debacle as she continues to sit over in a Russian prison. There was the article that came out that it said there was about 30, I believe it's about 30 players that are still have elected that they will still play in Russia. Did you think when it comes, because this is where it gets really tricky when you're trying to make a decision about social justice versus, what's right, but then I've got my livelihood and I don't want to jeopardize playing. Just your thoughts overall. You all have been overseas. You know how all of that works. Your thoughts. Would it have been a statement would it have mattered if all 30 players in the WNBA say we're not going to Russia. We're boycotting. We're not doing that anymore. That's it. Would that have made a difference at all? Or do you think it was the right decision to continue? Because they can make significantly more money, which is why I brought up the whole money thing, by going overseas to play. Your thoughts?
And I'll take it. I'll be like, and then you guys can tell me, hey, number one, I ain't going over there, period, knowing that I can get stuck there. Number two, what they're doing to Brittney, like I said, that's a hostage situation. And then 3, and I don't care who likes it or don't like what I'm about to say. So get ready, because here it comes. The player that's over there that's playing never played in the WNBA. Because far as I'm concerned, all the players in the WNBA, stand by your sister and don't play. Because there are some things you got to stand sometimes for something or fall for everything. So when I saw the player name, I had never even heard of that player. So I'm sure she might be going, I never even heard of her. She never played in the WNBA. But if I'm in the WNBA, I'm not going to play for Russia. Because and why would I do that? Because let's just say that war continues to get bad. What are you going to do? Just snatch me off the street? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to teach a lesson. So that's kind of like how I felt about it. I had never heard of that young lady's name. I'm glad to know WNBA players that played in the league and went, but to each his own. I couldn't do it. But I ain't going to knock nobody else who's doing it. I couldn't do it.
Right. I stand with that one, Penny. I don't know what their situation and circumstances are for them to go over, but it's plain and simple for me. I stand with BG. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Straight up, because you have to, because if you don't, you're saying to these cats over there, them jokers, toasters, or whatever you call them. And I'm so afraid that, how these games are so exciting and everything is going on. I pray to God that we don't forget that she's over there in the prison, because this is what it's looking like. The more time that passes, out of sight, out of mind, and it goes off the radar, I mean, this is bigger than basketball. This is a hostage situation.
Yep.
I believe, the article basically said, I wish I could find it again, but the article was basically saying that the thought process was there were several players that were still pretty much considering, that they play over there, and pretty much still considering.
But not Mike Helm. He got the bulk of the players. He got about 70% of the league. Mike Helm. I know he said his players weren't going. Lindsay Kagawa said her players. Well, I know they're not going. That's Brittney, one of hers. I don't know what Boris Lachinsky's going to do, because he's Russian. You know what I'm saying? But then that's where it comes down to: do I stand for something, or do I fall for everything?
Right.
So if would you make a mandate, theoretically, this is just theoretically, would you make a mandate for any player that decides to play for you as a GM in a WNBA capacity? Would you not allow them to play in Russia? If you found out that they played in Russia, would you be like, that's it? Somehow,
that's not my choice. That's not my choice.
It's your call at the end of the day.
It's not my choice. It's not my cause. But I will tell you this, and a lot of people are gonna get mad about this next thing. You
got a lot of people mad, PT from DC.
Mad at you,
I better not say that part, because there is one thing that I can't get down with. I'm gonna tell you what I cannot get down with. I understand it. I'm gonna say this first. I understand this a little more, but I can't get down with it. Okay, I can't get down with Americans putting on somebody else's jersey representing them in the Olympics. Okay. Now, PT can't get down with that. I understand it because they're making money, but I can't get down with it, okay?
Wait, get down with people putting on other people's jerseys?
To answer your question, Savannah, I can't tell a player what to do when it comes to making their money. That's on you. I got nothing to do with that. Now, that's your own choice. I was just saying, when we send our players to the Olympics, and I know everybody get mad because everybody can't go. Now, I can't get down when Americans playing for other countries. I can't get down with that. Okay.
Oh,
that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think as the finals progress, I think they'll probably do another ceremony for BG. Just to bring more attention to it. I think right now everybody's caught up in the semifinals. But I would definitely believe during the finals that they make a big statement, because we have to keep her name in the forefront of everything that's going on.
And that's the thing, like I said, I'm afraid of. Football season about to start. And I'm going to tell you something. Ask yourself, we're sitting in September. Look how quick this year don't went by.
Mm-hmm.
I pray to God. I mean, how do you? I mean, what is going to be her mindset when she does get free? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'd be like worried about basketball last right now.
Yeah.
And playing a sport, people don't get it. You're limited. Father Time and evolution is going to catch you. They just stole a whole year of her life. They just stole a whole year of her career. And I say that with the exact words that I'm using, stolen. For what?
Yeah.
Because you mad at some other people in America, so you take it out on somebody that's innocent. And then you got those people saying, oh, she went over there with some drugs. Oh, come on now. Somebody probably using that to calm your nerves. It wasn't even that much. And I got 9 years. It's nowhere I can go to Russia.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's crazy. That's
I don't know what we done been pop locking through this whole broadcast. I have no idea where that feedback is from.
I don't know either.
Don't know where it's coming from. There was
it's nice to have you back though, boo. I missed you.
It's good to be back. Good to be back. You guys make me smile. There's so much going on in the world, and definitely in the world of sport. I know I saw some questions about Nancy Lieberman. She was on last week.
Questions. Yeah.
There we go. Nancy Lieberman was on the show last week, and all of the women players she ever seen says Cheryl Miller was the best player ever. Y'all talk about Cheryl like she Jordan. Laugh out loud. I wish she would come on. I want to know her story. Cheryl she was all that. She was all of that. And if you don't know Cheryl Miller, I don't even know what else to say. I thought she was all of that.
Well, she was all of that. She was all of that.
I know Cheryl Miller.
There's another comment from Hoopballer Scoop. He says the same thing.
Yeah. Nancy Lieberman's best players ever, from Louisa Harris to Breonna Stewart, and she says Cheryl Miller is the best player she's ever. Right. Yeah. I had the Jerry curl. I bought in. I had the Jerry curl. I had a little shag in the back. I bought all the way in to Cheryl Miller when I was coming up. So it's difficult because she was so literally. She probably could play positions 1 through 5, at least 2 through 5 easily. I mean, she could stroke it. She was long. She was just a beast. So there's a lot of great players. But yeah, for anybody out there that does not know Cheryl Miller, you definitely want to go ahead and grab whatever documentary you can find, look her up. And of course, that was part of the plug. Is she coming on? I know you, poor Rita. She got one question in life. When is Cheryl Miller
coming on? Well, actually, we were supposed to have McCarthy on, but because we changed it to Wednesday, she had another previous engagement, so she wasn't on this week. So probably we'll have Angel next week. Coming up, Teresa coming up, everybody that y'all keep asking for. Cheryl has been a hard one. I've been in communication, but we'll get to her. She'll make
you played with Cheryl, right?
Yeah, but while we're talking about Cheryl, I think what we need to recognize and really be prayerful of is she lost her father. So we need
to say she just lost her dad.
We need to pray for her. I've reached out to her. She's responded. So it would be really good for all of us to, when we bow our heads tonight, to make sure we're praying for their family, asking for God's peace and comfort to cover them.
Thanks for that, Spoon.
Amen.
Yeah.
Right on that.
Hey, who winning this game tomorrow night?
Ooh-wee. Who you going with?
I think Chicago's coming back mad. I would be absolutely shocked if Chicago didn't pull it out, just because that was not the way they wanted to go out, and I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. And they're home, right? We're back in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Erica made me laugh. I'm reading your comments. Chicago getting it together. Oh my God.
Together. I'm gonna be a little hardcore. I think Connecticut found a piece.
Okay.
I think they found a piece. And if these little things don't happen for Chicago, with Copper being better for them, and I think from the onset, I believe the one who has to set the tone for them is Candace. Candace is, if she comes out and set the tone, Chicago, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
they definitely struggled that last game, but I told you I like the Emma. Emma's my new big smoothie. That's what I'm calling her. I thought, and then of course Vandersloot is just, I think she's pretty incredible as well. I think they have all of the right pieces. Connecticut was definitely very, very impressive. But we'll have to see. We talked about John 12. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I think the only person that we really haven't talked about, and this is kind of going back to that Aces in Seattle game, is the fact that Stewie was really playing her tail off the entire game. And you talk about Angel McCautry, she tied her record, of most points scored, 42.
42.
Yeah. She put on a show.
Boom, Ron talking about you.
Hey, Ron, you need to chill out.
Talking about you.
Chill out. I see you. Connecticut has always pieced together a really good squad. But where the issue is,
got a good coach.
is they've lost a huge piece in Jasmine Thomas. That's a huge piece of their success. The head is so important. Like Penny has said numerous times on this show, is your point guard is of value, especially in times like these. You got to have that cool head that's going to make things happen no matter what the game looks like.
Exactly. Talk about it.
Yeah.
And look at the end of the game when the first game, game 3, Connecticut had an opportunity to take the lead on several possessions, and they got bad shots because they didn't know who to go to.
Yeah.
That's where and I'm not locking Heidemann because Heidemann has improved. I had Odyssey before, but that's where you got to settle down, calm down, and get the ball to who needs it. And that's where I say, Jacqueline Jones, you need to show up and present. And as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name like I agree with Ron. Carper got to show up and Williams got to show up. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna show up for Connecticut, and that's gonna be DeWanna Bonner.
Oh yeah.
I already know she's showing up. Alyssa Thomas gonna show up.
Yeah,
now the rest of them
she was struggling a couple of games.
Yeah, but she rebounds, and like they say, she stay in NFL mode. So ain't too
somebody say she be playing football.
That's what I say. She's
going down.
She's in NFL mode, so her man ain't scoring too many points on her. You get what I'm saying? Because Alyssa is old school. That's Dirty Bill Lambier. Rick Mahorn. Back in the day, I'm naming all these.
Rick Mahorn. I see that.
Alyssa, like, now you may beat me, but you gonna take an ass while you beat me. That's what Alyssa. Alyssa be like, even I'll be like, oh, okay, I see you, boo.
Even her shots like a football. That one-handed Jay, I don't know about that, man. I don't know, but
but Alyssa be out there balling. She gonna show up. Bonner gonna show up. Courtney Williams gonna bring it, but Courtney Williams gotta have a better like last night. Have a real good shooting percentage. I'm gonna tell you right now, somewhere somehow, the only way they're gonna beat Connecticut, Jack. 2000. What year is this? 20. What's it? 22. 2021. Jacqueline Jones better show up, and if she don't, go ahead and get him to Steph Curry. Put him to sleep. Go put him.
I said Thomas tackled someone.
I'm just taking a picture of me doing like this. Baby, okay.
Well, you guys were.
Oh my God. It's gonna be so funny.
If they would have won that third game, if they would have handled those few minutes down the stretch, they could have. They would have. A few stops down the stretch, you up 5. You got to handle it better than that down the stretch. You got to make your free throws. You get to the line, you got to make. Got to go get.
I remind everybody what I said, Savanna. Remember when I said this when the playoffs started, when everybody's like New York, Chicago.
Yeah, I said that.
I said New York.
I brought that.
Let me tell you something. Yeah,
remember we said. Remember we were on the same team. I said Chicago and the New York.
Okay, but you, I'm just saying you on the broadcast and everybody's like, Jack. Let me tell you something. Once you done drank from the fountain of championship, listen to me. Once you done drank from that fountain, everything else tastes like muddy water. And to get them out of there, you're gonna have to be playing above and beyond. And listen to what I'm saying, Chicago. If I'm Kurt Miller, I'm saying They ain't laying down. You got to go take it. You're going to have to beat them. They're not going to lay down because they were a champion. They understand what it feels like. And like I say, but Chicago, if you don't come out and they show up, Chicago it's going to be a long night. But I look, and I'm going out on limb and say this, and people going to say, you crazy. I love Kurt Miller. I love Chicago. I love Connecticut's team.
Yep.
The first thing is going to decide the game whether they're going to get blowed out or be able to play. It's going to either be a blowout and it ain't going to be close.
Who's the better series? If we were to move forward, who would you rather see? Everybody, would you rather see the Sky in Vegas or you'd rather see Connecticut? Who's the better matchup for Vegas? If we want to see a great game, who's better? Great series, excuse me.
I think the football tackling is my cup of tea. I want to see Alicia tackle somebody.
I'm gonna say right now, if I'm going in a war, I'm gonna pick her.
Yeah, exactly. She a warrior, so
yeah, they can say what they want to say about her, but don't nobody want no part of her. You want them players.
She plays like
She plays like you.
Yes. Yes, I'll take her.
Okay. So you all rather see Connecticut Aces. I mean Connecticut and Vegas.
I like that one better.
Yeah.
Who they have? I don't care who put it this way.
I just want a good series. You know,
if you
look at the Aces series with Seattle, you kind of really said, well, that should have been a championship matchup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because it was a great series, and that's what you want. So now, you know, you have the next part of it's like, is it going to be as exciting and as intense? Because they were intense the whole time. They were very much intense. So
I know a lot of people probably pulling for Connecticut, but I'd rather see a Chicago, Las Vegas. With Las Vegas taking it, so the Sparks record are going back to back and staying. That's my little head rate I'm drinking right now. Okay, for the Sparks back to back and staying. But I'd rather see that series because, hey, I mean, at every position, it's a great matchup. At every position. And my thing of it is, if I'm Vegas, being a competitor, I don't know how y'all feel, but I'm a competitor. I want to beat last year's champion, so I don't want to leave no doubt that there's one champion here. Okay.
Right.
I was gonna say Chicago.
If Chicago.
I was gonna say Chicago too, and also like when everyone's firing on Chicago, like that's still an amazing team. Like they're I think there's a bit of a reason to bias because the Sun like they slaughtered Chicago last night, but like overall, you're right. It's still a championship team. That means something.
Well, with Chicago,
Candace is playing good basketball. Candace is gonna show up. You know, I will say that. Candace is playing great basketball. I think they're all playing good basketball. You just have an off night, but I'm telling you, and once you drink from the fountain, oh yeah, and I would agree with you, Ron. You're right about that. I want to see that matchup, and you know, like I say, in the end, I want Vegas to win because I want the Sparks record to stand. That's my header rate. That's the header rate, not the fountain of the champion. That time, when it's on the right, that's the header rate. If I'm on the left, that's the champion. Not like y'all feel, but okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I want great.
I think Spoon's mic is off. Somebody's mic's still popping. Spoon's mic is off.
Rita, really?
Thank you, Scott.
I didn't do anything. I'm sitting here right with you, man.
I see Spoon sign language over there. She's trying to get her point across. Go ahead, Spoon.
Well, it's not even muted. Penny's muted. Penny muted her own self.
Am I still muted?
No, you're on. You're on.
If I was Chicago, I would be an angry team. And it would be motivation for us because we are the championship team and you're constantly speaking of Vegas. You definitely getting there and 1 and 2 gonna go at it. That heated to know that you're constantly talking about us, but we're the championship team. We are. You them. That would be motivation that I would throw in the locker room every day. Every day. They're not talking about us. They're talking about them. We're the champions. They got to come through us. And that has to be the mentality. As they go into this 5th game, that has to be their approach. They can't worry about Vegas right now. I ain't worried about you right now. I got to get there. And then it's from there. 1 and 2, here we go. Now they say, you this the best? Well, no, we're the champions. Like you said, now it's back to back. Let's get this thing. Let's win it.
Yeah. And there you go. I'm back on this
as much
side.
as it's football season, I think I want to see Chicago. Yeah, I think I want to see Chicago and Vegas. Yeah.
I'm on this side. Y'all know what that means, okay? That's the comes of the champion when I'm on that side.
Rita, there was a last question that was in there just about you mentioned Teresa, that somebody was going to be on, a guest, and they wanted to know. I'm seeing in here that they were like, "What were you talking about? Who were you talking about?"
Oh, they were asking when Teresa was coming on, and my response is, "You just got to watch every show till she come on."
Teresa who?
That's how you find out when she's coming on.
He's funny today.
But they wanted to know which Teresa.
Oh, Teresa Edwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
that's another one. If Teresa Edwards was in her prime, there ain't nobody in this league that can guard her. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Teresa, and like I said, there would be nobody in this league that could guard her. People saw her at the tail end of her career.
We need to dig up some old videos, some old reels or something. That's got to be somehow or other, Rita. You got to find somebody that can pull together some old reels of some of these players we're talking about all the time. And let's just run like a 2 or 3 minute, video montage.
I promise to do that.
So we can speak on them and educate some of these people who are asking about some of the old greats. This is it. This is the part where I'm not supposed to say anything until I ask Penny. Penny, is it okay if we stop the show now?
Well, my name today is PT from DC.
PT from DC.
If you refer to me today, let me say it's happy to see you. It's happy to see you back together. Now you can say whatever you want.
The band's back together.
Right. Yeah, I don't want her to get gangsta on me. Yeah. All right. So this is the part of the show where we thank everybody. Savanna, thank you for co-hosting. Good to get a chance to meet with you and work with you. Good to see you back again, Spoon and PT from DC. I'm Sweet B from the top of the key. I'm just gonna go ahead. It's not we're gonna come with the nicknames. Watch how I show up. Watch how I show up. Are we doing Wednesday next week, Rita? I asked because games again are Tuesday, Thursday. Should we go ahead and prep everybody for Wednesday next week?
Yeah, it will probably be Wednesday. If the game's Tuesday, then definitely Wednesday.
We got Tuesday, Thursday going on in the finals. Obviously, tomorrow, check out the game. Connecticut.
Check it out, y'all.
And Chicago will be up on that. We'll talk more about that. And then come Sunday, we are diving into the finals. So by the time we show up again on Wednesday, there'll be 2 games under. I think, already 2 games into the final. So enjoy. Get your questions ready. Hopefully we'll have little technical difficulty. It's been good being back. Thank you. Thank you, Heaven. I'll do my best. No more missed shows. I'll do my best. This is the part. See, I forgot. This is how we say it. When it comes to women's hoops, we not new to this. We are true to this. We are certified unscripted. See y'all next Wednesday, not Tuesday. Wednesday next Tuesday. Thank you, everybody.
Man. Really
Later.
Good show, everybody.
Penny, deuces.
Hey, see you later, Spoon Girl.
I love y'all.
Love y'all too.
Love you back.